Hello y'all, what's up? My name is Elizabeth and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you guys don't notice, my background is a little different today because guess what? I'm home for the entire summer. I hope you guys also really like this constellation shit. I just got this week and I was like, wow, this looks really cool. I should use it in one of my videos. So hope you guys like this shit, but automatically at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you all like it. What matters is if I like it, which I do. Today is another digging deeper video. We're going to be in Isaiah 40, starting in verse 18 to 21, and then we're going to skip a little bit to 25 and ending in 31. I'll be reading in the ESV version, but you can use whatever version you want to use, and the verses will appear on the screen. So with that all being said, let's just jump right in and get started. Okay, y'all, so as I said, we're going to start off with just reading the Asher passage. Again, the verses will appear on the screen. So we're starting in Isaiah 40, verse 18. To whom then will you liken God? Or what likeness compare with him? An idol, a craftsman cast it, and a goldsmith overlays it with gold, and casts for it silver chains. He who is too impoverished for an offering chooses wood that will not rot. He seeks out a skillful craftsman to set up an idol that will not move. Do you not know? Do you not hear? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood from the foundation of the earth? And then we're going to skip to 25. If you guys want to pause the video, you can read 22 to 24. But I'm going to just skip to 25 because these are the verses that we're actually going to zoom in on. To whom then will you compare me, that I should be like him, says the Holy One? Lift up your eyes on high and see who created these. He who brings out their host by number and calling them all by name, by the greatness of his might, and because he is strong in power, not one is missing. Why do you say, O Jacob, and speak, O Israel, my way is hidden from the Lord, and my right is discarded by my God? Have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might he increases strength. Even youth shall faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Okay, y'all, so I want to give you guys some background information. So if you guys read chapter 39, you will notice that Isaiah is speaking about doom that is coming upon Israel. Pretty much, they're going to be taken from their homeland. Their sons and daughters will be taken from them. They'll lose the land. It's pretty much a doom and gloom thing. But if we read all of chapter 40, which I highly suggest you all do, you will notice that now it's talking about comfort. That yes, there is doom coming up ahead, but there's also comfort right alongside of it. And I think that's something interesting to take note here. That yes, there are trials, there is doom, and there is doom that is coming. Sometimes we can see the doom coming all the way ahead, but at the same time, there is comfort in the midst of those trials, in the midst of quote unquote doom that we can see ahead. And yes, both comfort and trials can and do appear at the same time. Okay, y'all, so I know I probably should have told you guys this before I started this video, but I'm going to say it now. I have a PowerPoint for y'all. It's in the description box below. I hope you guys check that out. So if we look at verse 18, verse 18 and 25, we notice there's somewhat of a repetition because it says, in verse 18 it says, to whom then will you liken God, or what likeness compare with him? And then in verse 25 it says, to whom then will you compare me? God's talking, to whom then will you compare me, that I should be like him, says the Holy One. So we have this of what can we compare God to? What on earth, what does as humanly possible can we compare God to? And so then in verse 19 we see a suggestion. An idol is what they come up with. Can we compare God to an idol? So we then have this comparison between something that humans create, which is an idol, because it talks about a craftsman caster. So humans create this idol. So we have this idol or this God that human creates. Can this really be compared to human creator, the thing that created humans, which is God? Can that be compared to? So then in verse 19 through 20 and verse 26 through verse 27, we see this comparison between an idol that humans make and God who made humans. And then lastly, we see in verse 21 through 28, we have this repetition here of, do you not know? Do you not hear? In verse 21, has it not been told from the beginning? And then in verse 28, it says again, have you not known? This is in past tense. Have you not heard? So you can see this comparison between idol and God. God, who is the ultimate creator, and man who created this idol to be, quote unquote, their God. So you might be wondering, why in the world do we have this comparison? If this chapter is about comfort, why do we have a comparison between idols and God, or human invention versus what God has created? And I think the reason for that is because what's really in essence happening is God is kind of like saying, number one, there's nothing that you can compare me to. And secondly, it's kind of just destroying our idea of human comfort. See, a lot of times when we have struggles in life, when we have problems in life, we go to our idols. We go to Coco, our gods, what we humans have created with our own hands. This is the comfort that we go to, and God is saying, what? That's not comfort. That's not where you find your ultimate comfort. So God's saying, look, you can't compare me to that kind of comfort, because I don't bring that kind of comfort. Your comfort is not really comfort. And so I think that's why there's this comparison here between false comfort that humans create versus God's ultimate comfort. But before we see that, we got to understand the mechanism that they're working on. See, God created everything. Well, the idols that can't create anything, rather they were created by humans who are limited in their creation. So what I'm trying to say here is that I think the reason why there's this comparison between God and idols is to show humanity the difference between false comfort and true comfort, and the source of those comforts, the false one and the true one. And that the true comfort, God, cannot be compared to anything that humans can create or can find on this earth. Actually, in verse 28, it says, God understanding is unsearchable. I really like how the NIV actually says it. It says, his understanding no one can fathom. So you can't put God in a box. He's unmeasurable. You can't wrap your head completely around him, for if we did, our head will probably explode or something like that. He's unsearchable. He cannot be fathomed. Compared to humans who create idols, we can wrap our heads around idols. We can understand it because we created it, right? And one last thing I just want to add in, that a thing that is created isn't greater than its creator. So the idols that we create isn't greater than us, yet we bow down to it. Does that seem foolish or not? That we bow down to something that we create. And I know back in the olden days we think of wooden idols, but think about some idols that we have now, today. What do we go to for comfort? Do we go to our phones? Do we look at Facebook? Do we look at Instagram? Do we look at YouTube? Or do we, take stuff that we shouldn't be taking just so it can make us feel good? Or we look at stuff just to make us feel good? Or whatever that might be. What do we go to that is a human invention that we find on earth that we think brings us comfort? That's a human invention and becomes an idol because we end up bowing down to worshiping and thinking it can solve our problems. I think that's why there's this comparison. Okay, so to quickly wrap up this video, we're going to be looking at the very popular passage that you probably have heard, the one in verse 29 through 31. And in here we can see another repetition. In 29 and 31, there's this idea of God giving power and strength to those who have none. And in verse 30 to the ending into the 31b, we see the difference between those who become exhausted, those who faint on their own strength, versus those who have trusted in God and waited for Him. They don't faint and they don't grow weary. See, we're seeing the results of the false comfort versus the results of the true comfort. And the last thing I really just want to look at here is the word wait, and that really has struck out to me throughout this past year. Is just God has really been saying the word wait to me a lot, and so I've been really thinking about that word wait. What does it mean to wait for the Lord? And if we look at the original language from the translation, pretty much wait can be translated as not just wait as just sitting there fiddling with your thumbs. Okay, wait in this case can be translated as eagerly looking for. Some other translations use the word hope, use the words trust, and another one suggests the word expects. I think a lot of times we wait for God, but a lot of times we wait downwardly. No, we need to wait in the idea of that we expect this to happen. We don't know when it's going to happen, but we don't just hope of, oh, I hope this is going to happen. I hope that I'll get an iPhone for Christmas or something like that. No, I know this is going to happen. I know when Christmas comes, this is when this is going to happen. So we don't wait for the Lord to renew our strength in the idea that we just wait in the aspect of we just hopefully wait and not unsurely waiting. No, we wait with expectation that we know that there's going to be a day where God will renew our strength. See, it's the difference between thinking that maybe we're waiting in the idea of maybe God will be there to comfort us, to help restore us. No, instead, this passage is saying we need to wait in that we expect God to give us comfort because He has already told us that He will give us new strength because He has already told us that. I think what to come to a conclusion is this: the difference between our false comfort and the true comfort, where that truly comes from. And I really hope that you all will take away from this, that we need to not just, wait that we hopefully it will happen and unsure, but we wait with confidence. And also I just want to know, remember that the people just heard about doom, right? So we wait, even when we know that doom and tribulation is up ahead, we still wait for the Lord with expectation that in the midst of the tribulation, in the midst of doom that we know is way ahead or we're already in, God will renew us and God will strengthen us. That's what I hope you take away with this video. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comment that down below. Remember, there was a PowerPoint to this video, and I hope you guys all looked at that. Again, I have a poetry website, and I think that's pretty much a wrap. Thumbs up, subscribe, push that bell button, get notification, comment down below, because I'd love to hear from you. And I think that's it. So, God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!